your reporting behind the benching of Anthony Richardson is what, sir?
This is a difficult one because, when you draft a guy like Anthony Richardson, who's the rare quarterback that you're really drafting off traits. He's got 13 college starts. He didn't even play that much in high school. You're thinking, we got to play the guy. He needs to play football. Only plays 4 games last season, then 6 this season. So 10 starts into his NFL career, he gets benched. Here's my understanding, really, of the conversations. I know that Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard met on Monday night. Obviously, there was discussion among the coaches as well. They informed the quarterbacks of the decision on Tuesday morning. They just felt like two things. One, Joe Flacco at this point, based on what he brings to the table, especially going to play a challenging game on Sunday in Minnesota against a Brian Flores defense that is going to throw a ton of different stuff at you. Joe Flacco right now gives you the best chance to win. The second part of it is Anthony Richardson needs a breath, whether that is physically, mentally, emotionally. We all saw the highly unusual tap out last week when he felt like he needed a break. And frankly, there might have been some naivete on his part. There's other quarterbacks who need a blow every now and then, and they'll just stay down and let the officials blow the whistle and then come off the field and come back in a snap later. He taps his helmet. A lot was read into that. Certainly teammates, had thoughts on that situation, but it was not a direct corollary. It may, though, have been symptomatic of how Anthony Richardson was feeling. He's a confident guy. He's a rare physical specimen, but he hasn't been seeing that much success. He hits the one deep ball last week. There were a bunch of drops in that game. There was a pass interference call on Alec Pierce that was pretty borderline, but still, you start 2 for 12 or whatever it was. It's still 2 for 12. It doesn't look good. You hear some of the boos, you hear the chatter in the media here. It just felt like this was a time where Anthony Richardson might benefit from not being on the field. And I know that the dynamics are different than they were in Carolina, where, by putting Andy Dalton in, you're not thinking, hey, we got a chance to make the playoffs here. But, they're trying to find a way to win a game here. But also it was, you were about to go to Las Vegas. The Panthers were back in week 3 and face a Patrick Graham defense that's going to do a lot of stuff in a hostile environment. You're just thinking, you know what? This is not going to benefit him to play in this game. Shane Steichen, was obviously vague in terms of what the future might hold for Anthony Richardson. It's totally possible that Joe Flacco plays out the rest of this season. And then come 2025, whether it's Flacco or somebody else, there's a veteran on the roster. Anthony Richardson is still on the roster, and they compete to see who's starting. But right now, this Colts team, Rich, for all the pressure that can be placed on coaches and on front offices this time of year, you look at their team, they've got talent. Their receiver group's pretty good. When they got Josh Downs and Alec Pierce out there, Michael Pittman's gotten the ball a lot more when Flacco's been playing than Anthony Richardson. They've got good receivers. They obviously, when Jonathan Taylor's healthy, he's still one of the top backs in the league. They've invested a lot in the offensive line. And as bad as the defense was the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season when they were giving up like 200 rushing yards a game, they've gotten better. They look at the Texans right now, just lost to the Jets. They're beat up at wide receiver. They're thinking, hey, we got a path here in a very winnable division. Let's try to go out there and win some games. They'll worry about 2025 when 2025 rolls around. For now, Anthony Richardson's opportunities are going to be on the practice squad, and the Colts' hope has to be, much like Bryce Young, who, by the way, nobody's really discussed it, but played a lot better last week in Denver than he had played those first couple of games. Maybe taking this break, as much as he didn't want it, benefits him in the long run.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.